Hi, this is Attorney Joe Mitchell, YourHarvardAttorney.com, serving Greater Philadelphia with personal injury, criminal defense, and DUI. I want to talk to you a little bit about personal injury and the question that a lot of people come to me with who have accident cases. How much is my case worth? Well, that's a longer answer than I'm going to do right in one video, but I'll break it down a little bit. I'll say something that I think will be valuable to you right now. One of the major things is, whose fault was it? Okay, that really determines how much a case is worth, because if you get into a car accident and you are really badly injured, you break several legs, you have to have back surgery, but it's you that ran the stop sign and crashed into the bus, you aren't going to be able to collect anything because there's nobody at fault but yourself. So in these kind of cases, you have to really determine, and I'm always very aware of looking at who is at fault. Many people come to me with rear enders, and that's pretty obvious for the most part. If somebody rear ends you, then it's their fault, because here you are either stopped or driving slowly, and somebody comes up behind you and bangs into you. Of course, that is their fault. But I had a guy come in today, and he had a slip and fall. And there was a large object that was in the street, and he said that he was busy looking around, trying to see where the store was that he was going to, and there were people around, and he just didn't see this rather large object, which he collided with and hurt himself pretty badly. So, is that the fault of the object? I mean, certainly if you just look at the object, you say, well, why didn't he see that? Well, the bottom line on liability in this kind of situation is he more liable? Who's more liable than not? So if you are more than 50% at fault, you can forget it. Now, of course, that's an issue for the jury, so to speak. But if you're less than 50% liable, so let's say that he was somewhat liable in that case because, he should have been looking down to see this object, but at the same time, somebody put that object in the middle of the street, and there's going to be somebody who's walking along and not looking down and who's going to fall over it. So I would say that I'm going to take that case because he's less than 50% liable in that case. So that's a very important distinction as to how much your case is worth, because what happens is the amount that you're liable gets taken off of the verdict. So if you have $10,000 worth of medical expenses and your case is worth, let's say, $30,000, then what's going to happen is that if you're 40% liable, they're going to take 40% of that. They're going to take $12,000 off of what you would recover, and it's going to reduce it to $18,000. So, of course, it's a little bit complicated, and certainly you should talk to an attorney if you've got a case like this, especially when there's a case where there's some type of mixed liability. It's really important that you get a good attorney who knows the ropes, who knows what they're doing. Feel free to call me for a free consultation. I'm in Greater Philadelphia. I am very knowledgeable about personal injury. Thank you very much for listening. This is Joe Mitchell at YourHarvardAttorney.com, serving Greater Philadelphia. I look forward to doing more of these videos about how much is it worth. Thanks.
Let me